tonight. Let me give a shout out to my people getting ready to go live on YouTube as well. For all my people over there on YouTube tonight, guys, make sure y'all click that notification bell. Go ahead, like, share, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment as well. Tonight, guys, we're going to be discussing, we're going to be focusing on this new politically correct phrase at the White House and Joe Biden, and they're talking about illegal immigrants, and now they're being called newcomers. And, you know, that kind of threw me right there. I'm like, newcomers? Like, we change everything up in this country. Like, first off, what's wrong with being called an immigrant? Because that's what the people are. They're illegal immigrants. They came in the country illegally. They're illegal immigrants. Some people say illegal aliens. One thing they're not is newcomers. I don't know who came up with this. I don't know who came up with this idea, who came up with this concept to start calling these people newcomers, but that's not it. Straight up, that's not it at all. So we want to touch up on that tonight, guys. I see my man Original up in the spot as well too. We got the Elder, my main man Original up in the spot as well, guys. So y'all definitely get a chance to check this out tonight. This is going to be should be a fascinating discussion right here, to say the least. You know, I never really thought about actual the term, what we just say, newcomers. I never thought about illegals being classified as newcomers, but if that's what floats your boat, if that's what you want to call them, I'm not going to stop saying illegal immigrants for anybody. I don't care how PC, politically correct we trying to get today. I am not about to do that. It was illegal immigrants yesterday. It's going to be illegal immigrants tomorrow. Now, I don't know how the White House is going to do this, but we got, like I say, hopefully we're going to have a very interesting discussion tonight. And it'd be cool to actually hear from some actual immigrants in the space as well too. Anybody that has an immigrant background, as always, the microphone is open. Trans, I know you have an immigrant background, so if you want to speak tonight and you want to talk about this illegal, the phrase that I guess people say that's a little bit more gentle, being called an actual newcomer. Like I said, I never felt that illegal immigrants was an offensive term. You know, I never thought that was an offensive term, but apparently here they come with it. Extreme X says they went from dreamers to newcomers. Yeah, it's like they constantly just flipping the thing, just constantly flipping it. So we're going to touch up on this, man. And like I said, everybody up in the space, y'all make sure y'all retweet this out. Go ahead and share this link. And from people over there on YouTube as well, man, y'all go ahead and share it up. Original was coming up here, but I guess he decided to fall back for a second. I'm sure we will hear from Original, as always. Everybody looks forward to hearing from him. But I'm going to go ahead and touch up on this. I'm going to go ahead and get it rolling right now. This is from the Daily Mail. It was also curator Newstoter.com platform. The actual article is in the Jumbotron, as well as for those listening on YouTube. The actual article is in the description on YouTube. Shout out to all my people in YouTube and all my people in X. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. I think last time we had a space was broadcast space was last Wednesday or Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. So we're back. The White House is catching flack for using a new politically correct term for illegal migrants coming across the southern border, newcomers. The new term was unveiled in a little notice fact sheet on the White House website, uploaded ahead of President Biden's trip to the border in Brownsville, Texas, Thursday. A $118 billion Senate and foreign aid deal, including $20 billion on the border security measures, spectacularly fell apart earlier this month to the ire of the Biden administration. The fact sheet states that the bill will provide $1.4 billion in assistance to cities and states who are providing critical services to newcomers, and would expedite work permits for people who are in the country and qualify. Eagle-eyed lawmakers immediately started slamming the White House for using the misleading term newcomers for migrants. The White House is using such dishonest and misleading language to trick Americans. Homeland House Security Committee Chairman Mark Green, Representative Republican Tennessee, exclusively told the DailyMail.com America is universally opposed providing billions of dollars in taxpayer-funded benefits to illegal aliens, the chairman explained. So he's straight up calling them illegal aliens. He ain't even saying migrants. Illegal aliens is a term to describe individuals who do not immigrate through legal and official channels into the U.S. Green said that illegal migrants would demand resources at the expense of Americans as long as they remain in the U.S. The chairman, who vehemently opposed the Senate proposed border deal, said it would only put billions of dollars in the hands of NGOs facilitating the border crisis. What's up, DJ? I see you coming up here. Let me go ahead and approve you to come up here. Let me get back to this. I'm sure those who have recently arrived in our country through the legal immigration process will be surprised to learn newcomers of President Biden and Secretary Mayorkas now include those who jumped the line to get in, he added to the dailymail.com. The House Republican account X slammed the White House use of the politically correct term. Joe Biden is not serious about stopping the illegal immigration to the United States. This is a catastrophe by design, the account X wrote on X. Senator Roger Marshall stated that Biden welcomes newcomers. For those not familiar, newcomers equal illegal aliens on U.S. soil, breaking our laws, many committing violent crimes, facilitating human and fentanyl trafficking, and costing American taxpayers nearly $500 billion. Jim Jordan, chairman of the House Judiciary Committee, told dailymail.com that the term makes no sense to me. My guess is the family of LaKen Riley doesn't view them as guests and newcomers. They would probably have a little different perspective, as frankly, some of the police officers in New York who were assaulted a few weeks ago, he said. A Venezuelan undocumented immigrant was arrested in the recent high-profile killing of Riley, a 22-year-old nursing student in Georgia. Representative Tony Gonzalez, Texas, told the dailymail.com that the politically correct term enrages him. Oh, that pisses me off, he said, noting the death of Riley, who was just 22 years old. I have a 22-year-old daughter. This is well beyond politics in it. Wherever you live in this country, you don't feel safe. So you can call that illegal alien that killed LaKen Riley a newcomer. I wouldn't. I call them a criminal. Joe Biden is not serious, said Representative Byron Donalds, Republican, Florida. He'd rather waste people's money as opposed to changing his policy, he told the dailymail.com. So until he decides to change the policy, doesn't mean a hill of beans for what he calls people who come in or how much money he tries to spend. That's not going to fix the issue. Federal data shows that 7.3 million migrants have crossed into the country illegally since Biden took office in 2021. Joe Biden and Donald Trump are making dueling visits to visit the border on Thursday as illegal immigrant remains a top issue headed into the 2024 election. The president is meeting with U.S. Border Patrol agents, law enforcement, and local leaders, according to a White House official. Trump will visit Eagle Pass on Thursday, where he will blast Biden on the record high number of illegal crossings and discuss the killing of Riley. Donald Trump wrote in to the dailymail.com Thursday that Biden is chasing him to the border today. He said Biden is no doubt desperate to shrink blame for the catastrophe he has caused, but not be deceived. The abolition of America's borders is Joe Biden's policy. The mass migration of millions of illegal aliens into the United States is Joe Biden's plan. This is Joe Biden's invasion, he continued. When I left office, we handed Biden the most secure border in U.S. history. We ended catch and release. We built hundreds of miles of border wall. We implemented Remain in Mexico, safe third country agreements with Central American nations, an asylum ban, Title 42, and rapid removals. So, yeah, this is one of the most pressing issues definitely coming up for the elections. The situation going on at the border. Joe Biden has recently been trying to kind of kick back on. He's trying to get tough on the actual border and everything else that's going down as well, too. And you got Donald Trump saying, hey, look at my track record. Look at everything that I did when I was president. I was tough on illegals. I talked about building the wall. I talked about this. I did that. But since 2021, says Biden has actually been in office, something over 7 million, migrants have actually come across the actual U.S. border. It says federal data shows that over 7.3 migrants have crossed into the country illegally since Joe Biden took office in 2021. That is going to be one of the crucial, along with the economy, that's going to be one of the crucial talking points for this upcoming 2024 presidential election as well. So, like I say, Biden is trying to get a little bit tougher, but I don't know how you can really get tougher when you start coming up with phrases that are pretty much, it makes no sense. I mean, the people are not newcomers. I don't even know how we got to phrase something like newcomers. I don't know what's wrong with illegal migrants to be, if people don't want to call them illegal aliens, that's fine. But I see nothing whatsoever wrong with calling the people what they are, which is illegal immigrants. Illegal immigrants, they came into the country illegally, so that's exactly how I see it. Shout out, I see DJ's up in the space as well too. Ray, what's up? Original, I see you up here as well. I see a number of y'all up in the actual space tonight, guys. So definitely go ahead. I want to hear from what you guys got to say. Do you guys agree? And I want to hear from my people also as well on over there on YouTube. Do you guys agree with the term? Do you think that should be something they should put in the legislation as well too? Is that something that we need to start calling people that come here legally in the country that they are actually just, newcomers? They're not illegal aliens. They're not illegal migrants, immigrants. They're just newcomers, and newcomers of America. Basically, if you're a newcomer, that means, I guess, he's already saying that you're basically an American. I mean, a newcomer, when I think of somebody that's newcomer, like you're a newcomer on a job or you're a newcomer on a team or whatever, that means you're actually part of an organization or you're part of something already. So basically, are we saying that the illegal aliens are basically already Americans? What's up, Ray? You got it.
What's going on, man? I think you kind of stole my talking point I was just about to say, because they're trying to control the narrative. What sounds easier for people to what really sounds easier what I'm really trying to say? Someone that's an illegal alien or someone that's a newcomer? Because all this really boils down to is they're trying to get them to be able to vote. That's honestly what it really boils down to. They're trying to control the narrative. Those, I believe they were Haitians. They were trying to cross the border, and then there was like some white people. I'm just gonna say it. They were on horseback and they were whipping them with whips and stuff and on the horse and stuff. They weren't newcomers, were they? No, they were illegals. They're just trying to control the narrative. Is all I'm really trying to say.
All right. Shout out to you, Ray. I see my man Original up here as well, too, guys. Original, you got it. Go ahead, unmute your mic.
Newstoter. Brother Ray is right. They want to control this narrative. See, here in Georgia, and I downloaded it. I started reading the bill. I downloaded it as a PDF. They want to see here in Georgia. You got these sanctuary cities. See, because the Republicans control all the constitutional positions in the state of Georgia, Georgia will not become a sanctuary state. But the below stupid black people who basically allegedly run Atlanta, they want to make they've made Atlanta a sanctuary city, and the below stupid former mayor Keisha Bottoms, she, as I said previously, she signed paperwork in a court of law defending these savages. They are illegal aliens. See, the term illegal alien, that is a globally used term when someone enters another country illegally. That's they call them illegal alien. And so what happened with here, they started trying to change the narrative and trying to make it seem as if they're to try to make it more acceptable to other people. But see here in Georgia, because the city of Atlanta and some of these other, the city of Atlanta, Decatur sits in DeKalb County, Atlanta's in Fulton County. So Fulton and DeKalb County, they are sanctuary county, and Decatur is a sanctuary city. And so now what they're saying is because this animal that killed that student up there at University of Georgia, from what I'm hearing, he just killed her just to be killing. And he was here. He's an illegal alien. And then see his brother was working somewhere with a fake green card. See, here in line where nobody wants to do that that e-verify to verify that what the documents and everything that these people have are legal. And so some of the people up in the area where what is the Clark County, where University of Georgia sits, they going after this mayor because see, I think that county may have been like a sanctuary county, and he's not. If he's not recalled, he will not get another term as mayor because they're pissed off with him. They are really pissed off. And so now what the state of Georgia is doing, they're passing a bill whereby if these people are arrested, they're making it whereby the law enforcement must report their immigration status to the authorities. No longer, because see, Atlanta, they was bragging about this. We're not turning these people over. And see, what pisses me off is that these black elected officials, they're always going out here jumping on somebody else's train, but yet they don't do anything for black folks. And they think black folks are going to continue to vote for them. Well, I'm not sorry, but I would not be voting for them or their party. And like I tell people, the Republicans are not an option for me because, hell, I don't know what they'll do. And I'll speak a little bit about that later because I don't want to talk too long. Let some of the new people that are listening in the space come up and speak. But that's what's going on. But they're trying to say that with that bill that the Georgia legislature just passed, they're trying to say they're targeting illegals. They're trying to say that they can pick them up off the street. No, what it says is that when they are arrested, they're making it a requirement that law enforcement, whether it be the sheriff, the police, or whatever, that they are required to report their immigration status to the authorities so they can get these savages up out of here. And see, but again, below stupid black elected officials are always defending other demographics, but they never come out and defend black folks. And I'll land with that.
All right, original. Appreciate that as well too. DJ, I see we got you up here. We got a number of people up here as well too. And like I said, I want to hear what people got to say tonight. So I'm hoping that we can get some people to come up here and just share their insight on how they feel about this right now, because we know this is not these. There's a pushback from it. There's a number of Republicans so far that have pushed back on it. So I just want to hear what everybody has to say about it. If this is going to be the norm going forward, is this going to be a new politically correct term that they're going to go ahead and convince people in America to go ahead and call? Because there's so many different terms and terminologies for things out there that we used to call it 5-10 years ago, and things have totally changed. Genesis on YouTube says, "What the hell? They are illegal aliens." Let me read a couple comments here on Militant Midget says, "Hell no, they are illegal migrants. I'm not calling them newcomers or non-citizens." The Prophet says, "Those who are here illegally are illegal migrants. Simple as that. I don't blame a girl." Diane says, "Language is everything. Sets them up for benefits. Dumb sheep won't push back as they're given the same privileges and benefits as citizens." Yeah, real talk. I mean, like I said, there are a number of people, and then the actual video I had put out earlier, or was it earlier yesterday? The actual video, a number of people have responded to it as well too. Shout out to my girl FBA Goddess. She originally posted that video, and there are a number of people that are not thrilled about this, not happy about this, straight up saying, "Hey, I'm going to call a spade," and if you get here illegally, you're not a newcomer. I mean, like I say, that when I hear that term newcomer, I'm thinking about, somebody that just got on the job. You just got hired and you come to the job. So you're part of this new organization, this new job, this new team, this new company, whatever you want to call it. I don't consider somebody that, legally that's not even supposed to be in the country as that, and maybe I'm looking at it the wrong way, but I think that is just a stretch, really straight up. So that's just a stretch. Up in the Jumbotron too, guys, as well. I want to let everybody know, we got enough stuff in there, so don't flood the Jumbotron. But up in the Jumbotron, we got the actual, we just got the membership going on Newstoter, guys. The actual link is up in the description. You can support us. You can become a member of the Newstoter platform for as little as $1.50 a month. We need supporters. For those that can support us, it's up in the actual Jumbotron, guys. And it's also, we'll have to post that over there on YouTube as well too, but it's up in the actual Jumbotron. I think it is on YouTube, guys. It's one of the links in the actual chat. But for people up in the Jumbotron, you can support for as little as $1.50 a month. I see. We'll go ahead and get to. I realize I see you up here. I see you still posting stuff. But did you want to speak?
I do. I'm sorry. I was trying to put my hands up at the same time, but I only was trying to put three things in the jumbotron. Hey, shout out to the room. Hey, Newstoter. Hey, DJ. Hey, Original Ray. It's good to see you up here. All the good and beautiful, beautiful people in the room. So the things that I'm actually posting in the jumbotron. The first thing was actually. Let me answer the question. So the question is, illegal immigrants, new term is newcomers. They're illegal immigrants. If the international terms of immigration law has not changed, and on the books it says you are an illegal immigrant, not migrant. It doesn't even have, I don't think, migrant in there. You're an illegal immigrant unless you go through citizenship process or to get a visa. That means you are here illegally. There was a post that this page had put up in regards to how Latinos utilized, I think there was a case that went before a judge, and they had, and I'm trying to, it's so much stuff I've been reading now, I'm trying to get my brain together. They had literally went before a judge and stated that they see themselves as white, and that because they see themselves as white, they should be afforded the same laws and privileges as white Americans or white immigrants who have come into the United States at the time, and they should have the same protections. These are the same people who are trying to utilize these same old, remember, it's being passed down, these same cultural practices, these same political practices under the guise of us not being in positions of authority in government. And they're utilizing that. They're utilizing the fact that they make up majority right now from different groups. And they support one another. I don't care how you classify it as. You always hear the talking point. When my family came to this country, X, Y, and Z. And so now those particular people are in position to say, okay, well, we need to change all of the language because we need to be able to move quickly to get these people recognized as citizens. Newcomers as if the old comers came here legally. The old comers came here illegally too. So it's the same dog and pony show that's happening over and over again. If you look back, I even posted the Star Spangled Banner, and the reason why I posted that is if you read through the entire stanza, that they were immigrants, and they talk about how they're claiming themselves as American, they're claiming themselves in this land, and they're changing their nationality and identity and picking up this new nationality based off of the European standard of I am a supremacist and I say so. I am who I am and I say so. And guess what? I am in control and I made the laws. And my family is, because Francis Scott Key's family was attorneys. See, that's the same ish Edward Bloom is using. Same get down. They have not changed their stripes, not one iota. And they wanted to keep us from getting to the point where we actually talk about this information and we actually come to the consensus of they're trying to pull the Jedi mind trick on us yet again. And they want us to fall into the sympathy of, we're running from war-torn countries, or we're running from war. But then come here, and then they create chaos here. So we have to make sure that we are on our P's and Q's when we are having these conversations. We have all the information in front of us, and that we are putting it back out there, and we are pushing back against language, because language is going to matter when it comes to legal. and it has to remain the same so that we can keep and actually take back what is rightfully ours as Americans in this country. And I said this before, white Americans did this. White immigrants, before they were Americans, they did this. And now they online crying about, we better hurry up and do X, Y, and Z. Well, they better hurry up and get into gear because they are going to be replaced because they were too busy trying to keep Black Americans from having our repair to be strong enough to actually stand up and fight against the elements that come against this country, like we've always had to do every time you turn around. So I'll land there and I'll just listen up and wait to come back on.
All right. Thank you, Rella. Let me go ahead. I know, Ray, I'm going to get to you. Let me get to Jess Cakes because I know she got the little one. So let me go ahead and get Jess Cakes up in here. Jess Cakes, what's going on with you tonight?
Hey, I actually got some help tonight. His scrappy as hell. Well, his dad didn't have to work tonight, so I got some help. So I might have a couple extra minutes. But I'm going to still be quick nonetheless. So, as far as the term newcomers, they've been giving these people, rebranding these criminals from day one, okay? Words haven't meant what they were meant to mean since COVID. You know, when they changed the definition of my bad, Newstoter, that extreme code that we had a few years ago. Yeah, when they changed the definition of what's that called, the vaccine.
Oh yeah. They changed they changed the vaccine when it was calling the Wuhan and this and that and yeah.
No, they actually changed the definition of what a vaccine is.
Oh, okay.
Okay. They changed the textbook definition of vaccine. They changed a few definitions, so words haven't been meaning what they've been meaning to me in the last few years. So, in the spirit of keeping up with white supremacists and the I'm white and I say so, my friends from back in the day that Jim Crow Joe might have got locked up, I think those guys deserve a little kickback because all they were street pharmacist techs. You know, they wasn't drug dealers. They were pharmacy techs, street pharmacy techs, okay? They were providing a service, okay? Since we changed the definitions and stuff like that, all Black people that's locked up for whatever crime and this, that, and other, since it's big eyes and little U's when it comes to laws, here it is. These people are breaking federal law with these fake asylum claims. Anybody that commits a felony, you can't even attempt to think about a good job for 7 years, right? But here it is, they still rolling out the red carpet for them. So, with that being said, to sit there and live in a Black community where my tax dollars is paying for these people, every single last one of them got cars. The only people who don't have cars is the damn kids. They come outside, they don't got no clothes on, they smell a little funny and everything else. I'm just over it. And I'm not finna him and haw about it. I'm gonna just tell Black people, we just gotta get ready because whatever is coming, I feel like they bringing in all these anti-Black reinforcements for whatever is about to go down. So the only thing I can say is we need to prepare ourselves. Whether that means getting a safe shelter, food supplies, and I don't want to sound like no conspiracy theorist, but some don't smell right, don't look right, and I'm not going to disillusion myself and not be prepared. You know what I'm saying? Stock up on ammo and everything else that stock up on your power tools, in the words of Jason Black. You know, I think that's it. But yeah, stock up on your power tools, stock up on everything, because something's coming. And then I always like to say this. Nazi Germany, the Holocaust didn't start in 1 year. It was the propaganda that led up to it. they put out propaganda making people feel like those weren't people that they was actually doing that to. Okay? And look at the propaganda. Here it is. These people can do no wrong, even though these are some of the most. You can see, Donald Trump was right. We got the worst. These are not good people that came here. They party all day and night. I'm not going to go there. Not going to go there. Donald Trump was right as far as what type of people we got up over here. But nevertheless, they are anti-black. Okay, they don't like us, and it's what a coinky dink that we gaining traction on reparations and stuff like that, and they flood the zone with anti-black illegals in this country. So I don't think I'm gonna say, I'm not gonna fear monger. I'm just gonna say, stay ready so you ain't gotta get ready. And I'll end it there. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. The power tools, that was Professor Black Truth. He always talks about keeping your power tools handy. But nonetheless, I think we all pretty much know what you're saying there. So shout out to you, sister. Before I kick it back to you, Ray, I want to say this real quick because you had one of the actual one of the senators in that article I read, Marshall, I think Roger Marshall said something to the effect. He was saying that the newcomers that Joe Biden is welcoming into this country, talk about they break laws on our, they're breaking the laws here in the country and committing violent crimes like human trafficking, fentanyl trafficking, as well as costing the taxpayers nearly $500 billion. Now, this is the words coming out of the actual the senator's mouth. I don't have actual stats to actually say exactly how much they are costing, but he said $500 billion. That is a lot of money there, a whole lot of money. So let me go ahead and kick it to Ray. Ray, go ahead and unmute your mic.
What's going on, y'all? So normally I don't go in any other spaces but Newstoter, but I'm cleaning up the house, just want to kind of have something to listen to, right? So I was in some other spaces, right? And these alt-right type of guys just came into this guy, I think his name Average Black American. I think that's the name. I think that was the name of his name. The guy was just talking to him. He was like, yeah, this is a Republican guy speaking. The far right guy. He's like, yeah. He's like, us on the far right, the Black Americans, we got to get together. We're all Americans at the end of the day. So the guy started asking him, okay, since we're all Americans, what's up with the reparations? What's up with this? What's up with that? And then as soon as they said that, they started going off and basically called Average Black American and all the other Black Americans up in the space everything but a child of God. So obviously we can't be fooled. They want to use us to keep them in power, but at the same time, they don't want to give us anything. And I think that's something that we need to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, and we talked about that before too as well. A lot of times, you get into this pissing contest when you got the Republicans sitting up here and they're saying, well, it's a Democrats' fault. They're the ones letting all the illegals coming in and this and that or whatever. And we know the Democrats want to use the actual illegals coming into this country to bolster their actual voting base. So we understand that, but at the same time, the whole little skits that these Republican governors put on, Abbott and DeSantis, they chartered a bus and they drove all of the migrants up there to New York and to DC and this and that or whatever. If they were really about that, they send the people actually back home. So to me, it's all, it's all a game. Republicans, they don't want the actual country to be flooded left and right with migrants, illegals, whatever you want to call them. But at the same time, they still want to use them as well too. They still want them cleaning their house up, and they still want them as the nannies, and they want to get that cheap labor from them as well too. So that you really can't. They will, and I know people say in terms of the voting that we got to go ahead and we got to vote for closed border candidates and stuff like that. People that's going to close the open borders. And I agree that, I mean, you do have to start trying to, partner up with some of these people that's going to close these borders up. But at the same time, don't think that because these people are going to close the borders up, that a lot of them are actually going to, want to do anything for Black people in particular as well too. So you got to look at it that way as well too. Like, yeah, you'll get a bunch of people say, yeah, we need to get up and this and that or whatever. You start hearing all of this stuff in these spaces and stuff. That's one thing about these spaces. When you start talking about, racism and this and that, white supremacy, you'll start having a lot of people come up in these spaces. You have a lot of white folks come up in the spaces and they start sitting up here talking, well, it was all the Jews' fault and the Jews is the ones that doing this and the Jews. And then, they're going to just totally just wash their hands of the whole situation. Like, you basically trying to say, what, we really didn't have any play in it, even though we were the majority in this country and you had this one small group. They're the ones that control the media and they're the ones that control the banking and the finances. And we were just, we couldn't do anything to stop them and stuff like that. So you get the same with these parties as well, too. You get the good cop versus bad cop. You get the Republican sitting up here telling, everything bad that happened to black people in this country was because of the Democrats. The Democrats formed the Ku Klux Klan, and the Democrats did this, and the Democrats did that. Like, well, meanwhile, while they was doing all this stuff, what were you doing? Well, we tried to stop them, but we just couldn't stop them. So it's a bunch of BS going along both ways. Most of these Republican candidates, they see that you got a number of black people that's growing in this country that are concerned about the actual illegals coming in, and especially in some of these major cities and stuff like that. So they say, hey, we can find some kind of kinship with black people on that. But outside of that, what else are they really going to do in terms of trying to secure the black vote? Because now is as good a time as any to ever go ahead and get black people on board. If you can't get black people on board now with the way they feel about the Democratic Party, you'll probably never be able to get them on board. So now is the time, if they were really trying to reach out and, trying to make an alliance with black people. I know when we had Judge Joe Brown in the space a couple of weeks ago, he was saying that, there was a sizable MAGA crowd that wanted to do business with black people, wanted to reach out to black people and stuff and wanted to partner with black people. And Judge was saying now was a good time to go in on the ground, get on the ground up and all this other stuff, you kind of join up with them on the ground up. But the thing is like, hey, they know what black people at. They know that black people, and let's be for real, all of these parties know that black people are the most loyal voting bloc in terms of race in this country. In terms of just actual race, they are the most loyal voting bloc. So nobody should have to twist the MAGA's arm, or nobody should have to twist the GOP's arm or anything else. If you want to holler at black people, you know where they at, you know how to get in touch with them, and you know exactly some of the things that they want to get accomplished. So nobody's stopping anybody from the GOP, the MAGA, the Republicans from reaching out and hollering at black people. And the only thing right now that I can see that them and black people, some black people, because there's a lot of black people still that don't, but this whole immigration thing, that, hey, well, let those poor people come over here and let them go ahead and they just trying to get a better life. I understand that. I don't fault people for wanting to leave where they were at, for leaving a nation that may have been not stable and trying to better their lives. At the same time, the entire world, you cannot house, you cannot feed, you cannot clothe, you cannot take care of the entire world. I know people say, well, the entire world's not over here. I know the entire world's not over here, but if you just open the borders up, you'd have probably 500 million people trying to make a run for over here in the United States. So you have to do something to try to limit not only illegal immigration, but also immigration, period. You just can't open the floodgates for any and everybody that wants to come over here regardless. And that includes the white immigrants as well, too. We always talk about, everybody's talking about the people from the Caribbean and talking about the Latinos and this and that. But like we say, we see that you got a bunch of Chinese coming at the actual border as well, too. Bunch of Chinese flooding the Mexican border at this point in time. Never do you hardly ever see the news cover that or talk about it. People, a bunch of Chinese women getting pregnant, coming over here, potentially taking flights over here to get pregnant so they can have kids over here. And of course, we know that Europe has always had an open border. These European nations, how often do they put they stop these actual Europeans from actually coming here, migrating as well, too? So it's not only illegal immigration that you got to go ahead and you definitely got to bottle that up, but even immigration as a whole needs to be capped. There only needs to be X amount of people per year that can come over here and actually live. And I'm talking about legally as well, too. It's not the United States' job to house the entire damn world. And we have to go ahead and get to that. And we do have to find some candidates that's going to actually stand up to that. But we also got to look and see that, hey, just because you may align with a Republican on one thing, don't believe you're going to align with them on everything else, too, because Republicans, for the most part, when you start talking about reparations, they go to frown in their face. They just against reparations almost as much as the Democrats. Let me go ahead and get to I'm not sure who was next. Let me give a shout out to my girl Shannon as well too. Shannon, thank you for your contribution on Cash App. Was it a original? Go ahead, original, and then I get to you, Rella.
Rella was next. Her hand was up first.
Oh no, I would never go before and after. You got it, original.
Okay. Well, listen. I want to start with this because I was trying to prepare myself for your initial topic about voting or whatever. But let's remember what Malcolm X taught us. He said, of all of our studies, history is most qualified to reward our research. Now, I want to take everybody back to the 1912 election cycle. That's when you had Woodrow Wilson, and I think it was William Taft, that was running for the White House. So William Taft, who was a Republican, he had made a statement about voting should be, based on educational level. So Du Bois had got like 500, I think it was like 500,000 black voters that voted for this anti-black racist Woodrow Wilson. Now they knew the boy was born in the South. He had Southern roots, but I guess because they thought they was upset with Taft. I'm still doing research on this. They was upset with Taft for that comment about voting should be based on educational level. They went out there and voted for this damn racist. And when he got elected, he started firing black people out of the civil service positions. And see that's what people get, and that's what I see that is going on right now with this election. With this election with the Democrats and the Republicans. The Republicans want us to vote for them, and I already know they're going to do the same thing that Woodrow Wilson did. They're going to fire the black folks, do anything to prevent black people from getting. Not that the Democrats are not doing it as well. So let's be clear about that. The Democrats are just as bad as the Republicans. That's why neither one of them are an option for me to vote for in this election cycle. And so that's what happened then. And I think what I would suggest for everybody in this room, do some research on the 1912 election cycle with William Taft and Woodrow Wilson. And you can see, what they both did. Because see, the Republicans always cite themselves as being the people who helped abolish slavery. But there were just as many racist and anti-black Republicans as there were Democrats. So that aspect of it is never talked about. And so, and what you said, that senator said about spending the $500 billion, yeah, that's right. I mean, it's like, okay, we're just supposed to not say anything, and see, nobody says anything about black folk. Because one of the things that I was doing to prepare for your other topic that you initially had, so
that's going to be tomorrow night. Yeah, I changed it, but yeah, that's going to be tomorrow night.
Well, I'll say some of that for tomorrow. But yeah, but I just want people to do that though, because see, what is going on now is that both of these political parties are trying to see who can pull the black vote. And my position is, if you're not talking reparations, I'm not voting for you. And you are right. See, I didn't hear the night you had Judge Joe Brown. I was kind of tired and halfway asleep. I'm not gonna try. See, when I think you said he said that we can get together with these MAGA people. There was a sister. I think she was from Chicago or wherever she was from. I saw it on somebody had posted this, and so the sister was saying all of us MAGAs got to stick together. And this one anti-black racist, he started calling the black folks all kind of names, and the other guy, see, both sides are sneaky. They'll try to pretend like they're with you, but they are against you at the same time. And he said, well, no, we need to work with these people. No, we don't. And the other racist was just saying, oh, no, he just, and so I think the sister and some of the other black folks, they left that space. And so that's what you get. But like I said, white people will never change. They are incapable of changing. The vehement hate of black people is deeply embedded in their DNA. And I don't care whether they are liberal, because as I said before, what's his name? Dr. Benjamin E. Mays, he said that in the future, our issue won't be so much with these racist Republicans, but it's going to be with them liberals and those progressives. And sure enough, he wasn't right. And so I think we need to listen. We need to go back and do research on some of these people and see what they were saying about these crazy white. I keep telling people the words good white people should never be used together. That is the biggest misnomer you can ever put out there. As far from my perspective, there are no good white people in this universe. None. And I'm speaking from my own experience. Good white people just don't exist. And so I just want people to understand is that we have to understand this is all about the war that they waged against us. And they're never going to stop. And we just have to continue to let these people know. And like what Rella was saying earlier about us not being in positions of, elected positions. See, the people that we are elected into position, they get into these positions, they fight for everybody except us. And then they act like they got to, that they got to show that they are so-called progressive, or you look at the black Republican and the black Democrat, both of these below stupid groups of people, they will never, how many black Democrats, elected Democrats, have you seen publicly support lineage-based reparations for us? They're not doing that. See, so you got these black anti-black races that are joining in with the white folks to work against our best interests. So this is insane. And it's going to be up to us to push this in a manner and make sure that we get our reparation, because I'm telling them now, no, there is no pathway to get my vote unless lineage-based reparations for us are included. Because if you look at it like the civil rights, when they passed that Civil Rights Act, what was it, 1964, they threw in there like it was based. Then they threw, now this was happening to black folks. Then they threw in there race, sex, national origin, and other stuff. People with disability. Civil rights was not based on any of that. It was based on what they were doing to black folks. But see, our people, they seem to always want to capitulate and add all this other stuff in there that don't belong in there. The civil rights movement was not about people. It wasn't about national origin and sex and all that. That's what they were doing to black folk. But once again, our people always open that door and let all this other stuff in. And see, they want to tell you that it's like when there was a video when Johnny Cochran was saying they were going to do something and get this reparation thing popping. And then we see what happened to him. But see, now that this reparations fight is coming from the grassroots, it's like, oh, they don't woke up and figured this whole thing out. They got us. Now what we going to do? Let's just bring the illegal aliens over here, and we all see that they got this office for New America. This stuff is all orchestrated. This is part of the war that they waged against black folks. They got this Office of New America and something what they call something cities, and the below stupid black mayor here in Atlanta
for action, cities for action.
Thank you for that, cities for action, and the below stupid black mayor in this city is welcoming these savages over here. This is insane, and they want us to come and they want us to come out there and vote them into office. I wish I would, and I'm laying with that. Let's hear some new speakers up here tonight. Somebody else come up and
we can't, but we can't. We trying to get them to come up here, but we can't get anybody to come up here except you, Rella, Ray. We trying to get other people to come up here as well too and speak, because, like I say, I want to know what people think about the actual about illegal immigrants being classified or called newcomers. So we're trying to get our people to come up here, but we can't we can't force anybody to come up here. People come up here when they feel like it. So, for those, the mic is open. I put it that way. So the mic is open. Definitely come on up here. We'll get you guys up here. We definitely want to hear. I want to give a shout out to Miss Nichols too for her contribution on Cash App. And like I said too, guys, up in the Jumbotron, we had the actual membership available. It's quick to sign up. It takes maybe a minute. All you need is your name and you get your email address, and you can go ahead and create your password. And that quick, you form a membership on Newstoter. This is a reoccurring payment through PayPal. And we got packages as low as $1.50 a month. You can support the actual platform. So we're trying to go ahead and get people to sign up. If you already signed up to the website before we actually put in the paid membership, then you just simply need to go to the membership and you can buy a package and a membership, and you can support us monthly. Like I said, we got memberships starting off from $1.50 all the way up to $10 a month recurring payment. That way it helps us support the actual platform. I don't know if you can beat $1.50, but that is up in the Jumbotron. It's somewhere, I think, the fourth on the left-hand side. That's why I say, guys, don't flood the Jumbotron with any more stuff, because we're trying to get any of our people in here that want to sign up and support us on the actual platform to go ahead and do that. Like I say, it takes maybe 2 minutes to create an account on Newstoter. And you can also, in order to create an account now, you would have to get an actual membership. But like I said, you can get one for $1.50, $2.50, whatever. We made it low, affordable, so our people can go ahead and support us as well too. And we need that support, guys. So we're trying to form the membership. We're trying to get people to support us monthly. Definitely, if you want to support us on Cash App. For those who don't create it, you can still do that. $Newstoter, $Newstoter. Newstoter is the largest Black-owned, Black American news media curation platform today in America. Once again, $Newstoter, $Newstoter. We also have the Venmo and PayPal up in the actual Jumbotron as well too. And we have the actual, for those on YouTube, the Cash App, $Newstoter, $Newstoter. And we have the actual PayPal and Venmo up in the description. For those on YouTube, on the screen, you can see the actual link to the actual Newstoter customer panel where you can go ahead and sign up and actually create an account and support us that way. That way, you guys don't have to worry about the all the time the PayPal and the Venmo and that kind of stuff. Like I say, it's affordable, it's low, it's cheap, and we're trying to do it that way as well too. Trying to sustain ourselves, trying to be Black-owned, Black independent. Shout out to my man Rock Roller as well for his contribution. Let me go ahead and get to Rella. I see Rock Roller. I see Miss Nichols. I see you up here. If you want to speak, go ahead and raise your hand. I'll get to you as well too. And some of our other speakers in here, guys, as well too. You that come up here, don't be afraid to speak. We want to go ahead and get you guys in. We want to hear what you guys got to say. It's always great to have a number of people come up in these spaces and speak, so we can go ahead and hear what everybody has to say. Go ahead, brother. You got it.
Thank you, Newstoter. And original is correct. I think I'm just going to add on to what you're saying, just to take the conversation further, is that, it's really the battle between us showing up for ourselves or making the decision that we are going to, get into the Black majority state movement, or try to find a way to have a majority in office. And you can't do that if we're all spread out. The other piece of it is we were all spread out by design. The gentrifications, the countless massacres were meant to spread us out. And I think it was so that way, as immigration got worse and worse, it would be easier for them to attack a smaller group. If you are in a larger area where the predominant population is all Black Americans, it's harder to attack a larger group or infiltrate a larger group of people. So by design, you have the attacks on our reproductive, you have the attacks on our autonomy to move around freely within the states or local principalities. You have the attacks utilizing, like what happened in California with the Los Angeles city representatives who were predominantly Latino. And you have to remember, the mafia is also in these particular areas from different groups. All these different faction groups have created either gangs to protect them, or they created like strong arm systems that would actually help to actually genocide groups of people out. You see that happening in Michigan, Minnesota. You're seeing it where Black people are being either murdered at high rates of numbers, and there's no investigations happening as to why. But you see high levels of the population changing, where there are other groups of people who are getting into certain activities and they're committing crimes. So that makes it all, it's like a powder keg waiting to happen. I had this conversation with my dad, and he even had the same notion that, okay, well, we are, in a country where they're utilizing cheap labor. No, the country was built off of free labor. They just switched to cheap labor because, again, it's easier for a group of people to continue to keep their wealth and to protect their wealth while they're moving in the next generation of people by keeping the cost low, raising the cost of everything else so that we fit the bill while they line their pockets. But we are not in positions of power. AIPAC is a large group of different groups of people, not just Jewish people. And I need people to understand that. That is the reason why they're able to lobby hard like they do for whoever they want. It's not even just Democrats. They lobby for Republicans too. So when I say to you, in order to weed out a cancer, you must have laser focus, and you must actually hit them where they least expect it. And that's showing up at your city council meetings, that is showing up and demanding at your referendum meetings what is on the ballot that's going to impact you in your everyday life until you're able to get into a position to move into a majority legislative that is Black, state, local, city, principality type situation that has to be on our minds. The cost of doing business and shaking hands with white supremacy is not the sacrifice I believe we have to make. Because I do believe that their fear is not that we don't shake hands with them, it's the fear that we walk and start to move as we don't need them. That is their fear. And that must become our champion. That is what we must do. And I was in the room with Joe Mr. Joe Brown. And again, I was busting his balls, because at the end of the day, I don't like it when we have to get into this desperation conversation that we somehow have to shake hands with our enemy in order to do certain things. Now, if I have to trade goods and services with other groups of people so I can get what I want, and so be it. But I'm going to always be in a position to make sure I protect myself. That has to be a culture, a thing that we utilize and we practice. Meaning that we have to make sure that if we even if we're voting Republican, Libertarian, Democrat, whatever it is, the demand is, if this is not on your information, and you need to have these conversations with the people in your community. I am an American. I deserve X. I was born here. I did not migrate. I did not immigrate. I am not a newcomer. I am from this land. There's nowhere else to go. If the ship goes down, we go down with the ship. Everybody else can flee. They can go back to wherever they came from, get their money, and as they do, billions of dollars goes to different countries today. They send what is it called? The money that they send back home. God, the word is off. You know what I'm talking about? They're sending. What is it?
Remittances.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, remittances. That's happening on such a high level. Nobody is coming into the country saying, I'm coming into this community and I'm going to build up this community. It's always a take. It's a take. And then we have to turn around and actually turn around and start to fight and champion and protest in the streets. So I think at this moment in time, there has to be us demanding and showing up what it is that we need, and we need to get on a good foot and get into movement when it comes to representatives that actually are going to stand up and represent us. And I'm not talking about your social clubs or your groups that you belong to or organizations. I'm saying as individuals in the community, families who have been harmed, you have to be in a position where you can have the information you need in writing, on documents. Take this shit further, because that's where it's going to matter. Alan.
All right, thank you, Rella. Let me go ahead and get to Rock Roller. Rock Roller, go ahead and unmute your mic.
What's going on, Newstoter?
What's up, man?
Shout out to the room. What's up, DJ? I just came to say this. There's a lot of folks running around this app talking about, they blacks Trump, black for Republicans. I've been running them down. I'm gonna keep it a buck. But today really summed it up for me. I was in that space when they was talking about Nick Fuentes. I think that's his name. And there was a couple of white boys in that space, and they came in there and he was running a little Republican talking points about it's not white folks, it's you. But there was something this white boy said. He said, if you black Americans are willing to put reparations in front of saving this country, then the hell with you. So we got to be the same way. If you white folks are not willing to give us reparations, then the hell with this motherfucking country, bro. And I'm going to land right there.
All right. Appreciate it, Rock Roller. As always, I tell you guys not to curse, but shout out to Rock Roller as well, too, guys. Let me go ahead and get to Miss Nichols. Miss Nichols, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing well, Newstoter. Thank you for holding the space, and thank you for allowing me to speak. So thank you, everyone, for your contributions. And I am running for U.S. Senate in 2028. I know it's not this year, but I am looking to run in 2028. So hopefully we will have a country up until that time. But I'm definitely making sure that I'm laying the groundwork so that we can just have a country. Some of you may have heard this because I try to remind everybody that, the Redemption Party, we are a new party. We're about a year old, but we did win our first election last November, and we weren't even a year old in a town that was democratically run since 1916. So it can be done. So we are definitely looking for more candidates, raising up candidates, and we definitely want to raise money for the party so we can move forward. We did it. We got 3 people elected with less than $1,000. So it can be done. So I don't want, everybody to think that, it's insurmountable. It's really not. And if we have the grassroots, the way we need the grassroots, we can get this done. So I'm definitely a reparations candidate. I see the importance in it. The immigration situation is out of control. They keep reterming the immigrants so that they can continue the funding. Very similar how they did the, the crisis that we had that started in 2020. I will call it that. They kept renaming it and redefining it and, keeping it around so they could get the cash grab. My concern with these individuals is what happens when that faucet of money turns off. Who are they going to try to attack first when their cards are no longer working, when they can no longer afford a place to live with their families? So they're definitely creating a powder keg situation. Our Congress is out of control. I know not everybody in Congress may be, criminals, but they are aiding and abetting criminal activity, and that's the issue. That's, primarily why I'm running for Congress, because there needs to be more of us in Congress to weed them out. Is it going to be a hard job? Yeah. I'm not taking, big donor money. I just want small donations, $1, $5, $10, $15. If you donate more than $25 to our party, then I'm going to be asking you who you are and can we list your name publicly? because I really want to make sure that financially we are transparent, because it's called for now. They've created that environment that everybody is looked upon as a criminal if you want to get into politics, unfortunately, and not everybody is. I don't have to do this. I'm doing this because I know I need to do it, because I have children, I have a grandson, and I want to make sure that he has a place in the United States to be. I know he's going to have a hard time because his father is Guyanese and Indian, and my daughter, she's black and a mutt like me, so we're all mixed up. And, if he hung around Kim Kardashian, she could walk off with him and nobody would know the difference. So I feel for him because it's going to be hard because he is a black man. And I know people are always going to question him about who he is. And I want to make sure that there is a world that he can be in and just be him and be successful. And I'll end there.
All right. Thank you, guys. And definitely support Miss Nichols as well, too. If you get a chance, you can put your, if you have a link to your actual platform, where they can donate, you can put that up in the Jumbotron as well, too, while you're up here. Let me go ahead and get to Somali against Pan-Africanism. Somali, what's going on with you tonight?
Hey, brother, I'm doing well. Shout out to the space and to everyone listening in and spoke. Yes.
Somali, you be so low. Can we get you any louder if possible?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
It's about the same, but go ahead.
Okay, my apologies. This microphone's not working correctly.
Get off your Bluetooth. If you're on the Bluetooth, turn your Bluetooth off too on the phone. Go ahead. Talk straight into the headset.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you sound about the same.
About the same, but go ahead.
Okay. So yeah, I just want to speak on this illegal immigrant term being not used. The reason is that these Democrats, man, they want to control people's speech. They want to dictate the language because they want to sauce off on the blow of this invasion that we are witnessing right now. And I remember I came on your space, I believe a week ago. No, it wasn't a week ago, but it was a few weeks back. And it was about Ilhan Omar. And I spoke on the fact that when you have new people, new immigrants, whether they're first generation, second generation, or naturalized citizens being in power, this is very, very dangerous because they still have allegiance to their home country. And they think for what is best for their homeland, not for what is best for the American people that they're supposed to represent. So what Mayorkas is doing, and he's a first generation person, what he is doing is that he is intensifying the third worldization of America, because the Democrats, they want to dilute the black American voting bloc. They want you guys out of the picture. That's what it just comes down to. And they don't want to deal with white people because they're, not reproducing at a certain level. So they want to bring in third world people to be the voting bloc so that they'll always rely on the Democratic Party. This is a very, very sophisticated strategy that Democrats have been pushing for almost 20 to 30 years. And if black Americans continue to vote for blue no matter who, folks are going to be forced to speak Spanish, bro. I understand people have issues with Trump, but bro, it's either, you could vote for Trump or you could vote for someone else, but if you vote for Democrats, you're going to speak Spanish because they're going to ensure that the Hispanic population becomes the major or the main labor force of America. Biden even said it. He said that the future of America has to be in the hands of Hispanics. And he said this in a Zoom conference. That was leaked. So what Mayorkas is doing, he's acting like a typical immigrant. He is empowering his people. And I am going to ensure, and I'm doing my best not to not vote for Democrats. Remember, these people are sick, man. They want to destroy America. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Somali. I will say next time, definitely, if you can. I know, I don't know if he may be overseas, but definitely, if you can, try to get the phone louder so Our people on YouTube can hear you, because I had a hard time hearing you myself. But definitely, if you can, I know you may be overseas. Definitely try to get your phone up as loud as possible so our people on YouTube can hear you as well too. Let me go ahead and get to No Taxation. No Taxation, how you doing tonight?
Hey, I'm doing good. I didn't know it was gonna be my turn. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I'll turn it up a bit. How's everybody in the room doing? I trust everybody is well on this Monday. Is today Monday or is it Tuesday? What's today? What's today now?
Monday.
Oh, okay.
Monday.
Okay, I'm trying to pull it together. Okay. Um,
Hey, that means you're doing good. You ahead of the week. There you go.
I know I need to pace myself though. But look, here's the thing: illegal immigrants, newcomers. Who's calling them newcomers? Mainstream media or is it local? Where'd you hear that?
It was in the article I read. Joe Biden in the White House, they're calling them newcomers.
Getting the Jumbotron too. I'll put some information from FBA guidance up there. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, this is interesting. The reason New York was doing it, and I said it on X a while back, I put some posts up about what they were calling them in New York, because different classifications are different sets of money. Money is running out on there too, okay? It's not all bed and roses like y'all think it is. They got a lot of, first of all, you got to understand, let's get real in this country. We know for a fact ain't nothing free in a capitalist system, okay? So that's number one. So their time is running out because their money is running out. In New York, they called them, when they first came, they called them immigrants. That's what they called them. And then that money ran out. So then they started calling them migrants. That's what they call them here, migrants, because that's a whole different political classification, and it's a whole different set of money. And that money apparently is getting slim here because they got the peoples out on the street. They told, Eric Adams told the people, some of them have 30 days and some of them have 60 days. I don't live in the city, and it doesn't directly affect me where I live, because if they come here, I live in a farming area. Y'all coming to pick food. It's just true to where I stay. So I ain't really mad if they come up in here and pick my food, okay? But having said that, these different classifications have different sets of money with them. There is no classification called newcomers. So if he's calling them newcomers, then it could be that he is trying to get these people out. Now, he's hinted around about an executive order. I thought for sure he would do it last week because it's a hot, wretched mess out here with these people. And they chopping people up in New York. I don't know what they do in every place else, but baby, they finding body parts here, there, and some are everywhere. People getting stabbed every single day, sliced and cut. The subway engineer, you can't even get on the subway. So they have to do something about that, because what you can't do is have crime run rampant in the subway of New York City, right? So we're going to see what's getting ready to happen, because it's starting to get nice outside. The people can come outside now so they can really see them. They're starting to close the shelters. They're sheltering here. The people that are going to get that little money that they're giving out, those are going to be for families who don't have children. You're probably not going to get it, or you might get something, less. But you're probably going to have to need a job. They're integrating those people in the system. The ones that don't immigrate here in New York, they'll get rid of them. And the reason why is because New York is a tourist place, and so they can't have anything happen to their tourism. Same thing with Florida. California, not so much. Texas, not so much. So that's where we are with that. So there's no classification with money attached to it called newcomers. So if Biden is calling them that, I'd be interested in knowing if they're going to be outcomers, okay, or outgoers. Because until he starts speaking about deportation, I'm uninterested. And that's just the way I'm running with it. So I trust everybody as well. I hope y'all doing fine. I'm going to shut it down.
All right. Thank you, No Taxation. Appreciate you. Glad to hear from you tonight. Like I say, guys, we trying to at least, I want to at least see if I can get 1 or 2 people to sign up to the actual platform. It's up in the Jumbotron. It's the 4th on the, is it the 4th or 5th on the actual left-hand side. We definitely need some members. So we definitely, it's pretty cheap. It's only $1.50 if you guys want to sign up and support monthly. So we're trying to go ahead and get some people. 5th on the right-hand side, support Black media, guys. We want to go ahead and have our own base of people to support the actual content and the actual platform as well, too, guys. So definitely for those that have not signed up to the actual website, and I'm sure just about everybody up in here has not, you can go ahead and you can create a quick profile that'll take you maybe a minute to go ahead and create. And then you can go ahead and you can support us monthly for as little as $1.50 a month on the Newstoter.com platform. So definitely support Black-owned media. I'll say it again, support Black-owned media. Let me go ahead and get to Rella. Rella, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Thanks, Newstoter. I agree with what No Taxation said, and I do believe that if I should say, if he's using Newcomers, I think that, this is the same president that said we all a nation of immigrants. Y'all remember when he said that speech? He went from we all a nation of immigrants to Black people, you're not Black enough. So he recognizes, they recognize who's not an immigrant. Because when they talk about Black Americans, they don't ever call us immigrants. The only people who try to call us immigrants is people who practice Pan-Africanism, and they want to have the historical conversation instead of actually talking about the history here in the United States and where we are today. Biden did the exact same thing. So again, to watch him and his administration, along with the Republican Party, not even push back on it, and that is my problem with even a lot of these ignorant white people. They are so ignorant to the fact that, to the tune of, they believe that they are the Americans of this country, and that somehow Black Americans are just as bad as the immigrants, and if we don't vote for one way or the other, then somehow we need to just be done away with. Well, to me, that's treason to the highest level. And I would actually speak to them as such. Everything that these parties have done, and I keep telling people, when you look up the information, the Republicans and the Democrats held control of this country equally, had the same equal power at the same time. One held held control of the government, federal and state, House and Senate, 23 times the Republican Party and 25 times for the Democratic Party. So when you look at where we are today and you listen to the things that they say, I do, and this goes back to what Original was talking about. We have to be putting our ears down to the pavement to realize that it was people in power, it was people in charge of a particular agency or a particular area, and they utilized their position. They utilized their position a lot, and they are benefiting from the invasion. Republicans own businesses. They want cheap labor. They don't want to have to pay nobody. So to me, that would be a conflict for me and my interest, because I believe that that's the problem with labor right now. They underpaying Americans while other groups get to be in positions in every industry and literally not hire us. That's why E-Verify is important. And then when you look at the Democratic Party, when you talk to them, they're like, oh, well, this is the lowest that the unemployment rate has been. Where? To whom? Because everywhere I look, the shelters, the streets is full and laced with Black people. There's other people there too, yes. But I see a lot of Black people, especially in my state. Our our state senator, Mark Warner, he up there posted about how Ukraine needs more money and we need to fund Ukraine, the war between Ukraine and Russia. and that's going to hurt and harm us. And I'm like, well, how is that possible? You're not even doing what you need to do here in the United States, let alone in Virginia. And then makes another post that says we need to do something about the spending budget. Like, these people, I'm telling you, it is literally the people in power right now are the ones that are destroying this country, and it's not just the Democratic Party. And I will not let people leave this platform to make you believe that it's just the Democratic Party. There are people signing off on these people being here. The immigration, DACA, had 9 Republicans that signed off on DACA. So if we're all considered and classified as immigrants, as Joe Biden said, why we don't have no benefits like the immigrants? Remember, they changed their names from illegal immigrants to migrants. Well, if I migrate from here and migrate to California and migrate to Virginia, am I now a migrant? If I become unemployed or I have no driver's license, am I now undocumented? Do you see the game? Don't let these people play in your face. Don't allow them to put us in a position where they're trying to give these people a fast track to citizenship while at the same time throwing us in jail. Don't let them do it. So I'll end there. Newstoter. Because that was somebody's commented down below that they were calling them, they're saying that we need to call them undocumented. No, they are illegal. They have committed a crime. They came through the borders of our country, whether it is by plane they came in and overstayed their welcome and didn't leave, or they came through Canada border of northern borders or the southern border. It's illegal. They did not. And even the ones that are here now illegally are also working against us, and I noticed that as well. And so again, we're fighting so many different fronts. It's unreal. Yeah, your mind is just spinning on how bad is this war against America that we actually are not really saying out loud in mainstream media. And I can tell you that it's really bad. It's really bad. Because they want to replace free labor, as I said, with cheap labor. And they don't want us to be the cheap labor because they know we're gonna demand money to be paid. They want to bring in people who can't speak a lick of English. When you communicate with them, you could barely understand what they're saying, and the only thing they want to do is argue with you or kill you. That's pretty much it. Okay, I'll end.
All right. Thank you, Rella. Let me go ahead and get back to Miss Nichols. You got it. Go ahead and unmute your mic.
Thank you. And thank you, Rella, for just everything you said. And to your point, they are illegal, and it should make them ineligible for citizenship for the crimes they committed. And I was listening to the radio a couple weeks ago, and they were talking about how this is going to be the new backdoor amnesty. Because I know one of the Republican talking points is like, yeah, we're never going to do amnesty again. Well, you're already doing it, and you're allowing it, and you're signing off on it. In the appropriations bill that they did in 2021, while we were all in a panic, they actually set aside $4 trillion for this. So there was money. And, to Original's point, yes, it is drying up, but they set aside $4 trillion. And so they knew what they were doing, and they always know what they're doing. And, they fight in the streets, but they make those backroom door deals when we're not looking. But at this juncture, it's showing. They can no longer hide it. There's no more, oh, that didn't really happen. No, we know what you did, and we know who you did it with, and we know why you did it. And we're not putting up with it anymore. So I would say maybe next steps is that we just start, when I say withhold our money, we are definitely going to start, I'm going to personally myself just start maneuvering the way I spend and make sure I'm spending in my community, because right now, economically, that's the only way to make people suffer. if you are in a small town and you've got any way of, I don't know, opening a business, but with our small towns, and that's where a lot of our economies are, there's got to be a time when people that look like us need to be the people that own the businesses, because that's the only way we're going to keep the dollars in our community. You know, most of the black communities, the convenience stores, the people that own those stores don't look like us. The people that own the gas stations don't look like us. And we need to have that part removed. You know, I know it's a form of control. It's definitely a form of economic terrorism. And like I said, that's why I'm running for Senate, because I see the problems and the issues that people are, being burdened with. And it isn't right, and it's fixable. I think that is the most painful part, that it's fixable. And people that look like us, that are already there, Black Caucus, people on the Republican and Democratic side, they're just not getting it done. So, it's time to have that new set of people. I know Mark Carter is working on getting candidates. I'm not sure what his strategy is. I know my strategy is, pushing the Redemption Party and doing one small city at a time till we get there at the local level, but also running candidates at the state and national level. And I'll land there.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate that. Let me give a shout out real quick to S.U. Thank you for your contribution on Cash App as well, too. I see we got a number of our people that's down here in the listener section. So shout out to all you guys. I see Black Majority State down there and Rerod. I see a number of you guys down there. My girl Aunt Lai was in here earlier. I guess she must have. Okay, I see Aunt Lai. She's down there. Val, I see a lot of you guys as well too. I know that Negro, I see him up there. That's my man up that Negro. I know they said that the talent is supposed to be, you guys supposed to be having something. I need to try to get a chance to hit talent back. They would try to hold an actual rally as well too. And I know talent reached out to me, so we'll see if we could go ahead and try to form up a space around that as well too. And you guys can discuss exactly what's going on and let everybody know as well too. But yeah, man, I want to know what's up with our people tonight too, man. How y'all feel about this? Because we got a number of great speakers coming up here as well too. So I just want to go ahead and give a shout out to everybody that's coming up in the space, and I want to hear what you guys got to say as well too about this whole this newcomer thing, because like somebody said earlier, I forgot who it was, they keep remixing this stuff. They keep mixing it. That's one thing about the United States of America. They'll take something, a lot of the terms that we grew up with that we can't even say now. A lot of things have been changed and everything else as well too. So I definitely want to hear what y'all got to say about this as well too. DJ, go ahead. You got it. I see you got your hand up. But some other people in the listener section, man, don't be afraid. Y'all know we ain't gonna bite you. You can come on up here and speak as well too, and we're eager to hear what you guys got to say. We ain't gonna keep the space going too long. It's a Monday night. We'll be back tomorrow night as well too. So we want to go ahead and let you if you guys want to get it in. Like I said, we just kind of want to hear what you guys got to say about this, because most of you live in states that definitely feeling the effects of illegal immigration as well too. So we want to hear what you got to say. Go ahead, DJ. You got it.
Yeah, I ain't got to say much. I just want to say I agree to agree. How we do. So with that being said, we went over that Cities for Action about 2 weeks ago, maybe. I think it was me, Black State. I think Rella was in there. There's a couple folks in there. I think we had we came off of one of your spaces or whatever the case be. I think that was the Hellhound, one of the second Hellhound Omar React. So Somalia against Pan-Africanism is right. So we ran down that Cities for Action, and pretty much it was a group of under 200 mayors. And, well, not all mayors, but, mayors, certain council people around a certain city or town that advocate for this type of illegal immigration. So these folks are illegal, myokers. Nobody care about that. You can't lock me up for saying it. You know what I'm saying? I'm a real knacker. You know what I'm saying? What you gonna do, son? You know what I'm saying? I say that all day. I be saying it all day. Eminem gang is getting paid. Yeah, shout out to our sister Malky Megan. Get these people up out of here, man. Because when they come to your neighborhood, they gonna take it over. You see what's going on in Chicago. Hey, no money for you, black woman. No money for you, Sister Rella. You know what I mean? You lazy, sister. You know what I'm saying? No lie, you know what I mean? So when they ain't saying stuff like that, our people be all of a sudden, it seems like we standing idly by and letting it go down. So it's like, what's really going on? That's what I would like to know. What's going on with that, where you see a lot of these folks coming into the neighborhood and ain't nobody saying a daggone thing, even though we see it. Because when you talk to folks on the sideline, yeah, I don't like none of these Africans. I don't like none of these Mexicans or any of these other folks. This is what our folks be saying to me. You know what I'm saying? But hey, and then I also get, hey, Dan, you was right. You know what I'm saying? You was right, bro. You know what I mean? But that don't mean nothing if the collective ain't speaking about it. So how are we collectively changing the mind and re-indoctrinating our people to say, hey, look, we thought, I guess, immigration attached to the civil rights was going to be a good thing to help us get our numbers up, maybe, get some black folks over here that ain't never been over here and help out, but it ain't work out that way. So now, like, hey, while we ain't trying our hardest to re-indoctrinate the mindset of our people to say, hey, look, this ain't a good thing, because you see they in your hood, bro. You see your son or daughter that's 16 years old could be working age, can't get a job. They can't even go back groceries because they got that sold up. Can't even go to the McDonald's, they got that sold up. That's what them jobs are supposed to be for. But ain't nobody looking at it like that. This is why I'm ready to get the hell up out of the north, because I clearly see our folks came up here, did what they had to do, but it's like they didn't try to make sure they solidified to pass this information on, pass the property on, all them brownstones up in Harlem. That's whitewash, man. Matter of fact, it was well, somebody said it was an old video, but either way, you got people up in Harlem, challenging Sinetta, you know what I'm saying, about certain things that's going on, how white folks or the others come into our neighborhood asking for votes, but we give it to them and then they turn around and crap on us. So you have I don't know if that other melanated dude was a black American or not. I know Sinetta is mixed with something, you know what I mean? But, Sinetta always kicking the truth, you know what I mean? He ain't here to sugarcoat anything, you know what I mean? So why would another melanated man come step to Sinetta and say he's wrong or try to stop him for checking this white dude for coming up there asking for votes? Well, okay, what you gonna do for us? What you gonna do? You know what I mean? So we don't seem like we really care about asking the government, well, what you gonna do? But these other folks, they have no problem. Hey, what you better do? Now, what you gonna do? You better do it. You know what I mean? I'm not sure if y'all be seeing these videos that be across the country, like New York. Certain parts I done seen it in California too. You got these Middle Eastern folks. They love ripping down our American flag, man. Yeah, yo, chill, son. You know what I'm saying? Because we can fight for that. You know what I'm saying? All day. Because I'm not going to nowhere in Middle East to no sand knacking neighborhood ripping down y'all flag. You know what I'm saying? Because if the beef was on like that, we'll just get to scrapping right here. We ain't even got to take it outside. We about to F this store. You feel what I'm saying? I'll be back later, probably put some money on your books to replace all this stuff. But then you got insurance for that anyway, whatever. But it is what it is. Nobody be checking these people. When we look around, when I look around now, and we see all of the, culture, got my fingers up, damn, this all our stuff. So somebody was complaining about ain't no good restaurants in Newark in one of our Facebook groups. Well, hey, black woman, y'all done gave a chicken recipe to the Arabs. You feel what I'm saying? They run the chicken joints around here. You feel what I'm saying? All the skill and the stuff that we used to do as men, man, we done gave that stuff away. It's over with, yo. So why we ain't trying to at least go somewhere else and just try to, I guess we need to remix our own stuff in the black state. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, black majority or tax, whoever wants to talk. All I'm saying to y'all is we're going to have to find a way to start making sure that we get our folks this information. Because if we don't, and if we vote wrong or whatever happens, call us who get in office. Whatever happens, don't move forward. We better start having our stuff together. But go ahead, Tubbs.
I wanted to come up here and say, DJ, you are absolutely 100% correct. And you know how long I've been screaming it. You know, Newstoter knows, Black knows, Rella knows, Original knows. I've been telling people for years, if you not speaking to power, you ain't talking to nobody. Your words are empty. You wasted your time. You have to get in the streets. You have to get in power faces. You have to do it. That's just the way business is done. And either what you got to do to get or you're going to continue to waste time and you're going to continue to waste words. That's just the name of the game. The game ain't changed. The game is not changing. Okay? It's a system. And if you don't get in there and put your finger, faces of power, and shake your finger and let them know that you mean business, you ain't did nothing. And that's just true tea. And there are things that we could have been doing. And I'm not saying this to anybody in the room, but if the shoe fits, put that sucker on and walk around the block in it and see how it feels. You wasted a whole year arguing with each other. You accomplished nothing. Nothing. And now here we are trying to play catch up. See? And there's some of us that have been here since 2017 and welcome you and want you to be here. But y'all got to get off the internet and get in power faces. What does that mean? It means you might have to travel to wherever the home office is. Make an appointment to do it in the summertime. It's going to be extremely important that everybody put their hands on the deck and get to work within the next 3 to 4 months. Because in a minute, they're going to cut the deal for the next 50 years. That's what we're really facing. Not who's going to be in the Oval Office. You're dealing with white power, okay, in this country, which is a capitalist system. They do stuff every 50 years. They do the long run, okay? So them bringing them immigrants here, that stuff been planned. They anything we can think of that they're doing now, they've been thought about that 50 years ago. And that's just how it moves. That's how white supremacy moves. And so you got to get that, understand that. And black folks have been the best at playing catch up. Ain't nobody else fights these people like we do. Nobody else fights the system like we do. And this is the time when everybody needs to get up off the couch, get on their feet, get outside and shake your finger to power. If you don't do nothing but get you a sign, some cardboard, and put reparations now on it and stand on the corner, you still did something. But you got to do something. Because nothing beats a failure but a try. And I'm going to leave it there.
All right. Thank you. No taxation as always. We got, I wasn't sure who hand was up first. Was it Black or Stilettos? I'm not sure.
It's Black. But, you want to let the sister go. Boston in the building.
Hey, good evening, everybody. I'm sorry. I had surgery on my neck, so my voice is like really shaky. But I just want to say thank you for having this room. I did tell Newstoter that I didn't know if I was going to be able to speak, but Ms. Taxation brought up an excellent point, and a point that I always bring up. So when it comes to Boston and it comes to the immigrants, I was really disappointed in our people that they didn't protest, that they didn't come out and show up and show out. It was white people who came to my neighborhood and sacrificed themselves and had signs and protested against the immigrants for being brought from the airport into my community for a recreational center. There were like 5 guys that I know personally who actually stood out there. One gentleman, he was on the video that I actually posted. He's homeless. He's a construction worker. And he got out there and said, why can't I be in the shelter? So like Ms. Taxation said, because I've been saying it for years, we have got to show up and show out. All the conversation behind the scenes is not really doing anything if we're not outside and being focused on and making ourselves present as far as people seeing us and hearing our voices. So in the aspect here in Boston with the immigrants, we're not really saying anything. I haven't really seen anybody moving. I haven't really seen anybody doing anything. There's a lot of complaints behind the scenes, but that means absolutely nothing. So if you're not being seen and heard, then it really means nothing to the government, and they're going to continue to do what they're doing. And local businesses are capitalizing off taking care of the immigrants. There's a restaurant that's across the street. She has a $5 million contract to provide the food for these immigrants. So it's just sad. I know that there's so much stuff that's going on at the same time, and I know we have like 50 plates in the air at the same time, but we got to be able to do something. And if we're not doing anything, that just makes it more to a detriment to us. And so we're not fighting reparations 100%. We're not fighting the immigrations 100%. We're not doing anything 100%. So like Ms. Taxation says, we have got to get out there and do something. And anytime in the city of Boston, which is highly racist, you got white people coming to my hood that are fighting harder than us, that really makes a profound statement. That's truly embarrassing. So I just want to land my plane there. Thank you for allowing me to speak.
Damn, we had white people that's fighting harder than the black people up there?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I was invited to the group, and before I had the surgery, I went to the meeting, and this lady was a state city council person, and she was vying to do it again, and she said, Anthony, you're the only person from Roxbury that showed up. Me and Jonathan showed up, the co-founder, and they were out there. If you look at the videos, she's a heavy white woman. She was out there with her team, and they were all white, and they had their kids. And the only group of people that I personally know out there were black that were out there was the gentleman who, again, like I said, he's on video. And he's like, he's the one that was cussing, saying, I work 40 hours a week. I'm homeless. Why can't I get in? And I know who he is personally. And I told him, I said, if you have a voice, just say something. But I felt bad after he did all that because he was so frustrated. He was screaming. It came off as though he was being hostile when he was real. Like, if you have a shelter for homelessness, why can't he get in? Why are the homeless shelters only for the illegal immigrants? If you come into a community and there's other homeless people, shouldn't it be for everybody? But the overall picture is our people did not come out and protest for the homeless shelter or the recreational center that was shut down. It was white people, and I talk to them every week. So that just makes a profound statement to me that we're just all talk and no action. And I can say that because I see it personally. So thank you, Ms. Taxation, for saying that. I really believe that other people need to constantly hear that we have to get out, because every time I say it, people just think I'm being funny or whatever, but this is a true depiction of how we're not getting the work done, but we're always complaining about it.
All right, thank you, sister. I just want to get everybody the heads up in case you guys may see in your DM. I did send you guys a link to the actual customer portal on the actual Newstoter.com site. So in case you guys may see a DM, a number you in the actual space, I did send you guys a link. So do not be startled. It's just a link to those that may want to go ahead and become members and contribute monthly to Newstoter.com. So I did send you guys, got people in here that's following. I couldn't get everybody, but a number of you guys that's following, I did send you an actual link. So do not be startled if you see it. We understand everybody won't be able to go ahead and become members and to help out that way, but we did send it to a number of you guys. So just to go ahead and give you the heads up, let me go ahead and get to Black Majority State, and we got the New Negro Republic, and we got G Watts coming up here as well too. So how you doing tonight, Black?
Hello, Newstoter, DJ. It's no taxation, of course.
Without doubt.
What's going on, everybody in space? Man, I'm doing good. Listen, I've been learning, of course. And I want to shout out to Miss Aon and New Negro while he's here. In their spaces, they break down a lot of past information, and they were discussing how this term migrant had been applied to our people, to our population. And as it turns out, this term newcomers or newcomer also is another term that had been applied to us during the Great Migration. And they even recently applied it to us when talking about us reverse migrating back to the South. So I see it as soon as I saw it, like most people, that was the first thing that came into my head. This is likely a term that they had used in application for us in some way, shape, or form. You can find it in a lot of these collegiate archives, stories, some newspaper articles, and things of that nature, where they were using this term pretty frequently. And so it's just another example, in my opinion, of the very coordinated effort to displace, replace, and then ultimately erase Black Americans from this land, from this country, in whatever way, shape, and form that they can possibly figure out to do it. The Republicans, for what it's worth, would be actually happy for that to occur. I don't see why people are so disillusioned by thinking that those people don't have extremely selfish self-interest, self-preservationist, ulterior motives for everything that they do. And in fact, them using us to get Trump elected is really par for the course, in my opinion. I think we got to really make the calculation: does that actually help us or benefit us in a way that it makes sense for us as a population? I think that, and shout out to Miss Rella, because she mentioned the whole being scattered across the country. And the thing about micro action, micro movements, is they never produce anything other than what they can produce for a very small group of people. Those movements don't go viral. They are not capable of uplifting an entire city, an entire county, an entire state, an entire region, an entire country. And so I just think that if we really, 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 really want to have power, which we don't, and we really want to have change that is beneficial and not is going to be detrimental to our population, we really do got to come together and focus our energy at one particular thing, whatever that thing may be. People have talked about critical mass. I've used that term in the past. It really takes an extreme focused effort that is extremely consistent. It's unrelenting. It doesn't stop until you achieve the goal. And I don't see any of that in our population. I'm actually, because I'm not a person who beats my head against the wall. I kind of make assessments and then I respond accordingly. I just don't see it. I wish everybody who's doing what they're doing, their actions, much success, because it requires actions to actually achieve success, and it requires failure to ultimately achieve success. But I see a lot of hesitation and fear of failure and non-action, and I just don't see how that gets us anywhere as a collective on a macro level. Especially when you've had all these extremely intelligent leaders telling us what we needed to do for a very long time. I mean, a very long time. And, we just haven't listened. It's really becoming clearer and clearer to me that we hold some responsibility in our current situation. And we got to really rectify that. We got to come to terms with it. And we got to be prepared to do the action that it takes to change it, because it's just like the terms. I know name banging, whatever, back and forth. A lot of that, I think, is it's whatever it is. At the end of the day, for me, it doesn't matter what term we use. It doesn't matter what term they would use. At the end of the day, the goal is what's most important. The result is the most important part for me. It always has been. It always will be. And so, them essentially using terms for these people that they once used for us is really, them being extremely disrespectful, in my opinion, and showing their disdain for us as a people. Most of us won't even recognize it. That's how insidious and deceptive it is. But it's right in your face. It's right out in the open. And meanwhile, Kamala Harris is at HBCUs, shaking her East Indian rear end, where she would probably be gang raped if she was over there by herself. And she's down at the Pettus Bridge performing rituals, stomping on the graves of our civil rights leaders who did put their lives on the line so that we could be in a much better position, but then unfortunately so that she could be here and rule over us. That's really the dichotomy of all of it. So it's a term. I think what's more important is in San Diego, San Francisco, a black woman's at a city council meeting and they're cutting off her mic and she's trying to express the fact that there's been a flood in the city and now they're trying to evict the residents so that they can put illegals into the housing in that city. And the city council persons who have an Hispanic accent, to be clear, from what I can tell, is essentially giving her lip service while they write a policy to evict the Native Black Americans from their homes in favor of these quote unquote newcomers. So we got to get real serious. That woman was about to break down in tears, and it makes me wonder, where's all the Who Riders? Where's all the active G's in the streets of California to defend their existence, to exist in the homes in which they've lived in up until this point? So I'll just end with that.
All right. Appreciate it, Black. Thank you.
I was going to say, Black, they dead and locked up, man. And the same thing over here in Essex County, man. All the real homies, they dead and locked up or moved away, bro. So let's go.
Let me go ahead and get to Talent. Talent, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Hey, peace and love. Shout out to the family. Man, Brother Black Majority, you really said some really good stuff there. I was just trying to pause my mind on. Shout out to the host, the co-host, Newstoter, and DJ. Peace and love to everybody in the room. No taxation. Everybody I see in here. Let me start with this one. Immigrant, illegal immigrant, asylum seeker, migrant, newcomer, right? A bunch of terms that are still utilized interchangeably to fit an argument, to not fit an argument, to represent specific individuals who are not American citizens, right? And Black American, Negro, freedmen, bunch of names that represent a specific people who are all descendants of those in shadows, from those in chattel slavery. So we've already kind of passed that whole name and whatever OMB stuff. And it's really time to be active, proactive service providers and figure out exactly what can we do to strengthen where we are within this fight for repair. And, and all of that always comes with growing pains when we are dealing with, different mentalities, ideologies, and kind of meeting each other where we are within whatever point in our own life and in the movement. But at some point, we got to graduate to a position where it's like, okay, how do we advance this thing forward, or what roles and responsibilities that we individually are going to take to try to push things towards betterment and more impact within this fight. And one of the things that I began to understand is that, taking these things offline, organizing, getting in the community, and educating our people is very important. Creating opportunities for us to really have places to speak, gather some really important content to be able to flood on multiple platforms is very important, because outside of maybe streaming a room or, screen recording different sound bites or recorded spaces being shared, a lot of people, when we get to the other side of the internet, are really big on person-to-person contact, watching podcasts where you can see people's faces, get the emotional expression, and really find a way to connect to maybe sound clips, sound bites, or even long-form content. So I take all of that in mind. I want to shout out Brother Mark Carter with his video when he was in Chicago with the elders speaking about the migrant crisis, when that got on TikTok and that thing started to move viral. And Elder Sister Sean went to the DNC and was speaking to Jamie Dimon, and that video was posted and began to go viral. I began to ask myself, how many videos are part of this movement and demand for repair that are moving, of course, multiple people's social media platforms. And I said, due to the amount of events that we've had or people have had and the long fight that's happened since the ADOS began it at that point in time to where we are now, there could definitely be a lot more. So what we did on our side was we looked to organize a demonstration. So I threw the information up in the Jumbotron. So April 15th, 2024, we're holding a reparations demonstration at the Lincoln Memorial down by the reflective pool area with the backdrop of the Washington Monument. We selected April 15th specifically because that's the date Abraham Lincoln was assassinated, and his assassination led to the domino effect of rescinding all of the progress that we had began and what progress we would, ultimately see end when Andrew Johnson took office and it became that fight within him restoring the Confederacy, pardoning them, returning the land back to the rebellious states, removing Special Field Order 15, Circular 13. Then years later, we lose the Freedmen's Bureau. Then after that, the Compromise of 1877. And, we were, left with the, with the hostile Confederates waging war on our people. So it's an open invitation. The main goal of this event is to have those who want to speak to come out to the event to speak. We're going to have a videographer capturing every speech, a sound mixing engineer. There's going to be a stage, a podium, almost like a State of the Union address. Come with your flyers, come with your pamphlets, come with your banners, but really come ready to say something, because ultimately the goal is to be able to have enough content that can be surfaced through multiple platforms. So more than just our side of Twitter to know what's going on. We got to get more active on TikTok, right? We got to get more active on Instagram. We got to get more active on Facebook with the stuff that we've already doing, with the things that we've already saying. So we don't got to reinvent the wheel. We just got to start spreading the information a bit. Of course, multiple platforms, since we know we're being shadow banned based on the media, right? There's 15 or so local task force, some going good, many going bad. But the fact that reparations is not being talked about as much as DEI, that means that nobody wants to pick up the conversation. But when it is talked about, it's not being led by those of us in the movement who know exactly how to position it. We're basically being blocked out of our own justice claim. And now we see a lot of grifting with Pan-African organizations and a bunch of stuff happening. So I think that it would be great if people would want to come. The event is a lineage-focused event. It's not gatekeeping anybody with your talking points. It's not a Negro, only event. I put Save the Negro because on a national level, when you say Negro, people know who you're talking about, right? Even if they love it or hate the term, they know who you're talking about. It's also a part of a digital hashtag that I utilize, Save the Negro. So if you click that on the various social media sites, you'll be able to see this consistent content that I post under that hashtag. But everybody's invited, man. Newstoter, I know that you said you got some fire engagement. DJ would love to see you. And everybody, we got to get outside. And I'm hoping that we can start getting our message across and being able to have some really strong content to be able to push through these different platforms. And it's love. If anybody's interested, shoot me a DM, reach out to Elder Val to send a message to the email on the flyer. You can shoot the flyer, we post the flyer. And this is time to go outside, man. I think the work that everybody's been doing, my contribution to the movement this year is no name begging. I ain't fighting with nobody, and heavily being active and being outside. And for those of y'all who cannot make it, if you could spend the day at home, maybe with a clean backdrop, just record maybe 3 to 5 minutes, declaring why reparations on the federal level is important to you, what reparations looks like. Shoot that information to us to the email, and we'll make sure a part of the movement with throwing that stuff out there, because we gotta do more of these things, right? If somebody wants to do some Juneteenth, let's support that. We need to be doing something else before November, so maybe some in October. I just hope that we can kind of continue to get, more involved with going outside. And I'm gonna land here. I submitted the permit. Everything's clear. It's not that hard to get a permit at the memorial. So if anybody wants to do something there in May, and June, July, reach out to me. I'll give you the information, the best way to go about it, so we can start flooding up the calendars with doing more activations. And it's not limited to DC, wherever people are at. Hopefully, we can just try to sequence some of this a bit more. Because it don't matter what name we go under unless we utilizing it for specific policy, right? You know, as long as we descendants or whatever the terms that experts say we need to be, we're the same people, and we just got to get more active with making our demands clear. And DC is where the federal government is. DC is also where they have the only federal-based reparations task force that's going to be utilizing tax dollars to create a plan for the people of DC. So we should definitely tap into that as well. And lastly, I apologize. We also want to utilize it as a lobbying day. So if you can start reaching out to your state reps and letting them know that you're going to be there, since it is a Monday, it's a day of the week, we can utilize that time to pull up on some elected officials and make sure they hear our demands as well. So any more information, I'm going to be hosting information sessions every Sunday from now until the event, every Sunday at 7 p.m. Shout out for the platform. Peace and love to the family.
All right. Thank you, Talent. Appreciate you. So, guys, I guess on that note, it's as good as any to go ahead and close the space out. We'll be back tomorrow night. Guys. We'll be discussing black men and their voting Republican. We'll be talking about that tomorrow night. We'll also be talking about the statement that Terrence Howard also made about black people, descendants of slaves, shouldn't actually have to pay taxes in the actual country as well, too. So we'll be discussing both of those topics tomorrow night, guys. So we want to hear how everybody feels about black men. A lot of black men seem to be leaning towards the Republican Party. So we'll be discussing that tomorrow night as well, too, guys. So once again, let me thank everybody that came up in the space tonight. Thank all the speakers, the listeners, the co-hosts. Guys, we appreciate you guys. We'll be back tomorrow night. DJ, is there anything you want to say before we go ahead and close it out?
Next space start at 11 o'clock. So y'all there. Peace, family.
Well, definitely check out DJ Space, 11 o'clock space, a late night space as well, too, guys. He'll be covering a number of topics in that space. So we'll see you guys tomorrow night. Everybody be safe. Have a good night, and we'll see you tomorrow night. Peace.
Hey, matter of fact, I'm going to start it right now so that way ain't no delay in the conversation. So come on over. Peace, man.
Peace.